Starting it. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Graybeards. I'm Wayne. My co-host
I'm
here is
Bug.
Ernie, aka Bug. He likes Bug. I don't know.
Okay.
He likes to be called Bug.
Hey man, my
That's his
grandmother named
nickname.
me that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Known that that's how they know me in Georgia.
This is how they.
This is how they know me.
Yeah.
Set that off. I wish I could.
The topic today we were I kind of struggled with the topic. Is what to talk about, but somehow UFOs kept coming up in the week. We had talked about doing an episode on UFOs. Do they exist? What do you think about UFOs? And it just so happened, what was it, Wednesday or Thursday, one of those days, there was some big news about UFOs out in
Yeah.
California that they debunked.
Yeah.
Called them something else. I don't know. It was
Yeah. I wish I'd have found out how they debunked it. You know what I'm saying? See if that debuncation was it legit or what? You know what I'm saying? You know how the government, do their
of
little
course, yeah,
books.
they're gonna say that
Hmm.
the I know. I mean, I'll share my personal experience in a little bit here, but how many people see things that or a UFO, just as the acronym, unidentified flying object, right?
Yeah.
It can be anything. I know that it clearly. I know that it's a plane, a helicopter, a bird, or a balloon.
Mhm.
Um, it's one of those.
Yeah. So
Uh,
UFO, I mean,
yeah,
by definition, unidentified flying object. It could be anything. It could be like you said, a bird, a plane, Superman, you know what I'm saying? It's just something that's identified. But a lot of times when we bring up UFO, it's like we associate it with ET, extraterrestrial type stuff.
sure.
Life forms outside of uh Earth. You know what I'm saying? So I think, we kind of trending that way in our conversation. Like, okay, when we see these UFOs, a lot of times when folks see UFOs, it's some kind of spacecraft, some they come from a different galaxy or another part of our galaxy. It lands on Earth. They see these strange creatures come out, and that's pretty much what we're talking about
Yeah, that's what
today.
every horror movie or science fiction movies,
Yeah,
ever created has been about.
exactly. So Um, I heard you say earlier that you had a personal experience about a
I did.
UFO.
Hmm.
You
Yep.
want to go into that a little bit? I also got a personal
Yeah, you
experience.
you do too. I know. All right. So it was in the late 70s, dating myself as an old guy. Um, Me and my neighbor, him and I, man, we were like really good friends. You could almost say best friends at the time. We hung out together. We did everything.
Mhm.
Um, and we were in the backyard. And it was dark, and this is up in Erie, Pennsylvania. Um, the it's rare to have a really clear night in Pennsylvania. Very rare to see stars. It does happen, but they don't
Right,
call it dreary, eerie mistake along the lake for nothing. Because it rains
yeah,
a lot, then it's very cloudy.
right.
Well, anyways, we're out there, we're looking up in the sky, and we watched this, we thought was a star or something shooting across the sky, right?
Hmm.
Comet, whatever, meteor, could have been anything,
Yeah,
right? That's what we were
right.
thinking initially. And then it like made a hard right 90-degree turn, went another direction. This is a star-like thing. We couldn't see, there was no distinctive whatever, but it looked like it was so far out in space, could have been just close.
Right.
This was before I went blind in one side and can't see out of the other, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Um, and it did that several weird movements. No, was no pattern like a square, constant square. No, it would did a left turn, right turn, zig, and then it zag back to another direction.
Mhm.
There's no aircraft that I know of that flies that high in 1978 or wherever, whenever it was, that
Yeah,
could
they
do
can make those sharp turns.
those the angled sharp turns. So
Mhm.
you tell me, I don't know. And I
So
wasn't
let
the
me
only
ask you
one
this.
seeing it. Me and him both saw the same thing.
So from your recollection, did it have the same? Did at first it appear like it was a star? Initially, y'all thought it might be a
It looked
star.
like it, yeah, when you look at like a star, it's just a
Mhm.
bright light, right?
Right,
There's no discernible circle or, I mean,
right,
it's not square, it's just a star. And it looked just like
right.
a star in the sky that was playing ping pong from one star to the next. And it
Ooh,
was
can you
moving
remember
that
which one of
fast.
you guys? Can you remember which one of you guys saw it first? You or your buddy?
I don't know. I don't recall
Okay,
first. It could have been him.
okay, but y'all was just gazing up, stargazing, so to speak, and like, oh
Yeah, we're
shoot, you
just
see
out in
that?
because it got, it's probably closer. I don't know if it was springtime, wintertime. It wasn't snow on the ground, so it had to be either spring or summer,
Yeah.
maybe early fall. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that pretty much told me that was not a natural phenomenon that they're not bouncing off planets or whatever.
Hmm.
And
What
there,
did y'all do with this information? I mean, with
we
your with
actually,
the,
you know what? We actually called the local airport to report that we saw this.
y'all did all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Teenage 17-year-old.
No, I wasn't that old. I was only 12, 13,
Really?
14.
Okay. Yeah, they probably like
Somewhere in,
these
I was a
kids,
teen, I was a young teenager, 12,
young
13.
teenager.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we
Dang.
moved there and we moved to that, I met him and, well, we moved to, be neighbors. I'd have
Hmm.
been like 70. Well, how old are you in fourth grade? I was in fourth grade
Oh
when we
shoot.
moved. So nine,
Yeah, about 10, 9 or 10. Yeah.
10.
That's,
So that's when we moved there in 75, maybe. I don't know.
mhm. Okay.
December of
Dang. So
75, 76.
how did how did that affect you? I mean, you saw it, obviously you've remembered it 50 years later. So
Well, it just
and if
affirmed well, to be honest with you, it just kind of affirmed my belief that it's kind of naive to think, in my opinion, it's kind of
Mhm.
naive to think in the vastness of the universe that we're the only intelligent life in the entire universe, period. I just think
Yeah.
that, I mean, that's just my opinion that it'd just be kind of silly to think that we would be the only, you know, I mean, I believe in God. And
Right.
the fact that the people go, oh, it's just some weird, the odds of these two whatever oozy things getting together and creating life on an entire planet. Um,
Yeah.
the odds of that
Yeah.
are pretty slim, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Nothing.
yeah,
I
I would
mean,
say actually impossible. I mean, like you said, you believe in God, so you know it's all by this, or you believe that it's all by design. And I'm assuming that you're saying that if it is by design, then he made life forms somewhere else, right?
sure. Why is
Now,
that?
let's
I
just
mean,
say,
why is that not plausible? That if he can do it here, he can do it wherever he wanted. So,
yeah.
God,
Well, he
some people,
definitely have other life forms out there.
yeah,
We could touch on that, but I think they're more of an angelic life form. I was thinking, pondering this conversation this morning. You know, some of the options that we could explore. Like, okay, folks see these UFOs, right? So, A, it could be ET for real. B, it could be somebody's. It could be the government with testing whatever they test, or it could be some other things that God created. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at the possibility, and I'll tell you, I'll link it to my faith. What you're seeing, or what has been seen, it could be those other creatures. Well, they're in the Bible, though. You know what I'm saying? There are things mentioned in the Bible. We'll get to that. That some of those guys saw. You know what I'm saying? The way they described them, I mean, definitely things out of this world, right? So we'll talk about that. But before we do that, I'll tell you what my situation. I was a lot older than you when I saw what I saw, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna, it can um people are gonna say that I probably was asleep or whatever, but okay. I'm out on the flight line. I'm at Shaw Air Force Base, right? Me and another guy. It's in the wee hours of the morning. It's probably about closer to 3 o'clock in the morning. I see an ET just walk by.
Hmm.
So so I'm at Shaw, I'm on the flight line. I'm kind of kicked back. I'm relaxed. It's a midnight shift. It's on the weekend, right? Friday night going into Saturday morning type situation. So just kick back, really, really extremely relaxed, right? Probably could be borderline derelict, right?
Hmm.
So so all of a sudden these lights appear over the flight line, the runway. Just in case we got folks that's not familiar with how these bases are set up, but what they would know as a runway, we kind of call it a flight line. But anyway, these lights just suddenly appear over there saying, right? And so I sit up, I'm like, holy smoke. I was like, the guy that I was with, he was very relaxed. Just put it like that. So
Wasn't paying
I had to get
attention.
his I had to get I had to get his attention. I was like, yo, man, look at that, bro.
Hmm.
And he was like, what do you see? I said, you see those lights?
Yeah.
He was like, oh my goodness, what is that? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, because it at first it looked like it was just lights hovering, and then it looked like it was some type of fireworks. I couldn't discern what it was. So I called it the law enforcement desk or control. And I was like, hey, there are lights. There's something, there's some lights so somebody shoots some fireworks. And this is in the wintertime. So it shouldn't have been any fireworks out there, but there was no explosions or anything like that. Just some lights that was like, it could be explosions. It could be, I don't know. It was weird. So I called the law enforcement desk. They called a control tower, right? And the control tower was like, we don't see anything, you know. So this object or whatever it was, it started heading, I would say, south on the runway. And I left my area, I left my assigned area, and I started following this thing, and it got faster and faster, and I went faster and faster, and I couldn't keep up with it. And next thing I know, it leaves the base, it goes across 378, the highway, and it's gone. And I'm like, what the heck was that? And so back to the real world, right? The tower said they didn't see anything. The law enforcement desk called me and says, hey, we didn't see anything. That the tower didn't see anything. So, you know, just continue to monitor the area or whatever. And so I can't remember if they sent some other patrols out there or not, but I actually called it in. I wish I knew the guy. If I wish I could remember who it was that I was with. We probably could get him on the show to testify and say, yeah, man, we saw something that was
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not
extremely
worried
weird.
about, and people are going to believe what they want to believe either way. Right.
That's right.
So
That's true.
you can
So,
testify all you want. There'll be somebody going, nah, nah.
of course, of course.
Throw a
You
flag on
remember my
that one.
other
That's BS.
another possibility too is it could be your imagination, right? And I
Oh,
shared
yeah.
this experience with you. We got a kind of a laugh out of this. I told you I was on patrol. I told you I was extremely sleepy, right? And it was foggy. So I'm driving down Prolifica Drive, and all of a sudden I see this this disc, this spear, this big
Here,
ball.
yeah, yeah,
And I'm like, what the heck? I woke up at that point because I was driving about 3 miles an hour, so sleepy, man.
yeah.
And it was foggy, it was night, and all of a sudden I saw these lights. And then I was like, what in the world? My heart started beating real fast, right? So I was like, I don't believe this. This thing was like hovering right there. It was undeniable. I was like, this is tangible. This is real. And so all of a sudden, as I got a little bit closer to it, I saw these legs coming down, right? These
Landing
big,
gear.
Yeah.
That's
I
so
see these darn
interesting.
legs coming down, right? I was like, oh my God, this is real. I'm gone. I'm gone. This thing is gonna, there's no way it's gonna let me get away, right? And then finally the fog either thinned out or whatever, and I realized it was the water tower.
Oh, I know
As a
exactly. I mean, I've
combination.
been up that road many times in patrol, and
Yeah,
I'm looking, when I
yeah,
first got here, I was like, I mean, the base has changed so much over since,
yeah.
in late 90. I can only imagine how it's changed for you. And
Right. Yeah.
when did you get there? 68,
80.
something like that?
1988. Close.
Yeah. You got there
So
10 years
yeah,
before I did. That's
I
just
know, right?
crazy.
While you was up there freezing is the reason. I was down in warm
Yeah.
South Carolina enjoying life.
Chilling,
Yeah,
enjoying life.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So a possibility, right? We talked about the possibilities of these UFOs, right? Okay, it could be it could be ET. One, it could be our imagination, right? And then we talked to some of the guys that we work with about this subject, and they was like, well, the government, what I'm saying, Area 57 or whatever, they got these sometimes they're testing drones or they may be testing other aircraft or whatever. What I'm saying? That's a possibility. And sometimes I think the government has come out and said, yeah, we was testing these aircraft in this area, what I'm saying, these new secret weapons, blah, blah, blah. And okay, they just wipe it away. Yeah, but we never see the aircraft that they was testing. They don't come out and show us the aircraft. They just say this is what was happening.
Well, they kind of have, depending on what time frame you're looking at, these aircraft that
Mhm.
they were testing, the they have, obviously, and I get that, but the government is the worst for keeping secrets. You can't keep secrets like that under wraps forever. And
Well,
that's
shoot, as
where
long as you got that
when you look at,
deniability, man,
huh?
as long as they can deny it, what I'm saying, that's their chief weapon. They just deny it. Or
Yeah.
I put Inspector Smith on this case, and he verified that there was no radiation, there was no sightings. We were gonna debunk it with this, but who fact checked these guys
Yeah.
when this stuff is going on? You know what I'm saying? We just believe it because it's the government. But should I say this on tape? Can we trust them? You know what I'm saying?
I
You
mean,
know what I'm saying? I don't.
we're all been, we have all been sworn to, secrecy and, not to
Yeah,
divulge whatever secret information.
yeah,
And I'm not, we're not, there's no, I mean, look at the F-117, right?
yeah.
That thing was revolutionary. I remember when during, before, well, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, that time frame, uh,
Mhm,
those aircraft were around, and we were protecting them. We had to keep them in a hangar, you know, I had
mhm.
a one-star general wanting to come and look at it, and she was like, "I ain't never seen one," and I was like, "I ain't either. I have,
Right,
but
right.
So she was like, "I want to see it," so
Yeah.
come out and
Hey,
because
that's
they
like
were
the
a higher
what's that?
priority aircraft.
The SR-71, right? That thing, it was out in the 50s. I never saw one until like 1983. And they only fly at night. I didn't know that. I was at Fairchild
I
back in
mean,
the
you're talking the high level of secrecy on those back in the day.
yeah, that's
Well,
true.
you can sit and think about it, right? We got Roswell, all that technology. They supposedly they got a lot of this. This I can't confirm nor deny. I don't know anything about the details of the SR-71 development. I have no idea. I
Hmm.
can speculate that there's well, people have speculated, not necessarily mine, that the technology used to build the SR-71 was from an
Right.
alien craft they got that they had to, but I don't know. You
Man, now
see,
that you're talking about flying at some angles, dude. That darn thing,
mm-hmm.
it would go down the runway and then it would go straight up in the air and disappear.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It just take off like a regular aircraft. It just takes off and just go out over the horizon. This sucker would go down the airway, take off, and do a 90 degree, and and it's gone. It was like, and I witnessed that a few times at Fairchild, but it would only take off in the evening time. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? It only like dusk or even at night it would take off.
And
I was
loud.
like, dang, and it looks just like it. Well, you've seen pictures of it.
Oh
Sucker
yeah,
look like
I've seen
some
one in.
super some.
I've seen them in person too. So,
Hmm.
but never seen.
Yeah,
I've never seen one taken off or anything like that. Like that.
yeah. So I don't know the numbers, but there has been thousands of UFO sightings throughout, not only throughout history, but all over the world. You know what I'm saying? Folks claim to have seen these, like you see a UFO right now, you know, what are you doing?
TV up there is acting up.
You scared me, dude. I thought that mug was, I thought you was about to get beamed up or something.
No, there's a TV over here, and I was turning
I
it
got
off.
you.
It was irritating
I
me.
got you. You got a TV on the ceiling, rich mug.
On the
Okay.
ceiling, yeah.
But yeah.
And my little trailer here. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, that's a nice trailer up. I like it.
Well,
I love
I
it.
didn't say it was not nice, but
It's definitely a nice trailer.
it's
If we're gonna dub it
not
as that.
not, not butt
Okay.
naked.
So UFOs. Personal opinion. I think there's a my explanation is this. And
I've already
I'm gonna go,
convinced you, so you're already struggling with your answer. You know they exist.
yeah, by
But the
definition
question
they
is, what's their
exist.
origin? Is it you
I think
believe
the
there
origin, I
that
think the
all these
origins of
sightings were
yeah,
government?
I think part of it is government. And I think that a lot of it is they are beings from another dimension. I believe that the Bible tells us about these things. You guys get a chance to read Revelation chapter 12.
Hmm.
Revelation chapter 12 talks about Satan being kicked out of heaven, descending to earth. Not only him, but his heavenly host or whatever. And we don't know what these creatures look like. You know what I'm saying? You read the book of Ezekiel, you see stuff, him talk about stuff like that looks like some kind of spacecraft, some kind of weird beings and stuff like that. So that is my explanation of these are these are supernatural creatures. I believe people have actually seen these things. They've actually experienced these beings or whatever. How these things change dimension or whatever, why I don't know, but yeah, I believe that. But for us, what you're talking about, the vastness of the universe, I think that accounts for that. You know what I'm saying? These beings, they can roam the whole freaking creation. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, I mean,
that's my
he's thinking dimensionally, right?
yeah.
I find that I don't know if there's another dimension. I don't know if I really believe that so much as
Hmm.
possibility there. If you want to talk about another planet being a dimension, sure, I can see that because that's something I know. I know there's other planets on the in the vastness of the universe. We know that to be a fact. There's
Hmm.
other planets, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
that's to me, it's like even though that when in the Bible, God's where I don't know what day it was, a Tuesday, I don't know, where
Yeah.
He created the heaven and the earth, right? Or
Right.
the sky,
Hmm.
whatever, the heavens. He created the
Hmm.
heavens, right?
Hmm.
That seems kind of vague to me. Didn't say nothing about it's like simplified talk, right?
Hmm.
But they couldn't understand it, couldn't explain it, so they just wrote it that way. This is the way it was explained to me. I just created that, what you see, like a picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was no real explanation what all was created in the heavens or the,
Right.
space, if you
Yeah,
will.
I think that information comes a little bit later. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he just goes, boom, I could create the heavens and the earth. And, you got to really understand the language of the Bible. Heavens, right? We usually think of angels floating on clouds, right?
Well,
But
that's how
heavens
it's
is,
depicted a lot of times, heaven.
yeah, yeah, they do. But heavens is space. You know what I'm saying? When you really get into it. You got that. You got the space realm. and everything between earth and I think the heavens incorporate everything that you can see
Yeah.
out there in space. That's one level. Then the third heaven or the second heaven is the realm where God dwells. You know what I'm saying? So you got these levels. You got this. Okay, the first heaven is from earth to the clouds, right? You got that, and the Bible depicts that. Then from the clouds to outer space is another heaven, and then the third heaven would be the realm of God and His creatures,
Yeah,
His
he's
other
got us all
creatures.
in this little jar, right? All this, so
Yeah,
like, we're like little marbles. Remember what was it,
yeah.
Men in Black or whatever, to get the what did they call it? The little, remember what, he was looking for that thing and he had to hang it on that cat's neck. It was like a marble. These creatures
But
had,
if you look at it, you can get paralyzed or something.
no, no,
Was it like a
no.
charm? What was it?
Did you not see it? I forget
Seen Men in
though.
Black, but
Huh?
yeah,
Are
I
they
saw one of the Men in Blacks. It's been like what, five or six of them back.
three or four, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, it's been
I enjoyed it. I like Men in Black. It's funny.
yeah.
No, he had the guy that he was some kind of creature and he could alien, and he was trying to get this um jewel from some other alien that had it, protecting it,
Hmm.
whatever.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
uh he was like, water, sugar water. And she was looking at him and goes, Edgar, your face is on crooked. And he grabs the thing, goes, it stretches his thing. Is that better?
No, I every time I
He
flip through the
passes out.
channels, right,
Mhm.
and I see Men in Black, it holds my attention for about a minute or two, and then I go on. So
Really?
I can't,
Oh
I
man.
I can't really say I've sat down and watched it from beginning to end.
Yeah, I mean, I like Will Smith
Mhm.
before he lost his mind over a woman. Um,
Well, that's all of us, but go ahead.
no. Mm.
We all lose our mind. It's called marriage. You bound yourself to this woman for the rest of your life. That's losing your mind. But okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I don't want to stop you. You say you like that movie? You like Will Smith before he
I
lost his
do.
mind?
Yeah, he lost his mind over that woman he's married to.
Yeah,
Um,
he
but
loved her,
it
man.
happens, I've always
Yeah,
enjoyed.
definitely.
I always thought he always did good stuff, Will Smith. So
Hmm.
till he slapped, what was his name? Chris something.
Well, let me ask you this: there are okay. Hopefully, this don't offend anybody, right? But we talk about the deep state, right? And I've seen videos, I've heard documentaries about who's really running the government, right? Is it
Uh,
are these you know, what's going on, man? But anyway, you're like, that's a metaphor I'm taking it. But anyway, some people say, hey, Biden is not Biden. You know what I'm saying? There's like some some force is controlling him, you know? Um, they believe that these super intelligent beings are really controlling the government.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Governments around the world. What you think
yeah.
about that?
Running out
You
of
think
time.
it's
We got about 10 minutes in this episode. So
yeah.
mark your time.
Hmm.
So do I think back to the topic UFOs, is this a government thing that people are seeing experimental aircraft or aircraft that they're using for other things? Is there a possibility of it? Sure. Is it probability? No. Mm-mm.
Some of them, yeah, man. Some of them are definitely probable. Some of them, you know what I'm saying?
No,
It
but
all
I'm saying that
depends.
they're, you know, I would think if there was this type of experimental aircraft, whatever, they have the capability. We know what capabilities that we have to fly and know what. is at the LZ where we're going to land at said aircraft.
Right.
They have the capability through satellite imagery to know what is around them. Why would they be flying in Los Angeles? They ain't. That ain't happening.
Why? Well, why not?
Why would they?
Okay. I would say
If I
I
want to
have no
keep a
stud. I
secret,
have
I'm not flying it over LA or any
okay.
other
What?
place. We know
Okay.
this.
Okay. Well, one, you want to test this darn thing, right? You want to test it.
Okay.
Cause all right, these aircraft, like let's say the F-117, that's the stealth bomber, right? So
It's a stealth
it's
fighter bomber, yes.
yeah.
It's supposed
So
to have been a fighter, but it ended up being more of a
let's
bomber.
see if anybody can see this darn thing. You know what I'm saying? And then you
But
get
you can
one
see it.
person.
It
You
exists. We've
can
seen it. If you fly it in the
yeah, but I'm saying
daytime, you're going to see it. And it looks like a
yeah, but
UFO when they first come
they're
out.
not flying it at daytime. They're flying it at night.
You ain't seeing it, guarantee it.
Somebody can see it, and somebody did see it. Somebody saw it. Like there it is. I've seen them at night because of course, I was where it was at. So I'm just saying you can see it at night. It's a stealth. It's stealth.
Well, the
Yeah,
stealth
it's
isn't because
stealth.
you can't visually see it. It's stealth because it's got the radar signature of like a gnat. So
That's part of it. Yeah, I agree with it. A part of it is the radar. You can't get a beat on it. Another part is it's black and it's designed to it does what it does at night. Most of the case, most of the time when that thing shows up, it's at night. So
yeah,
they're
I
flying
just
this
don't.
thing.
I don't buy the government. Yeah, sure, mistakes happen. I got it. The whatever their experiment they were doing or testing, there's a possibility that
Yeah,
they could have had
somebody saw it.
a rogue agent saying, "I'm telling the world about this thing," and they want to fly in, or they want to get their Starbucks at, in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's true. All right, they saw it and they reported it as a UFO. It was triangular in shape. It was black. They had lights everywhere. Yada yada yada. Okay,
Yada yada
no,
yada.
yeah, yada yada yada. So, okay, the government dismissed that. You didn't see anything. There's no evidence this thing ever was there. Yada yada yada, and that's that. So yeah, I think a lot of times they just see um our aircraft, right? Our secret aircraft being
Well,
tested.
a conspiracy, my friend. We're trying to keep you. It's the Russians, right? Go with that. China, you know.
That's, that's it's
They're
not
just
China.
trying to
It's nothing
keep
to
their
do.
head above water just like we are because we keep spending money we don't have.
Ooh, that's a
Because everybody's
you trying to.
telling them.
It's
It
like a
ain't.
little. That's a segue, and you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying. You segued
Yeah.
into another episode of Graybeards.
But you didn't say nothing about my flat bill hat. I wanted to look like
Let me say something about that. I was gonna comment, but
yeah,
I like
I
it,
wanted to wear a flat bill hat. I have this hat. I've worn it. This is the
dude.
second time I've
I'm.
worn it. It
I
is,
don't know if you're familiar with rap lingo, but no cap, you could be a rapper.
yeah. I didn't know if I was supposed to wear it like that, you know.
No, man, that's 70s, 80s type,
Um,
80s, 90s b-boy. But the way you got
and
it
then
now,
there's some way they tuck their ears underneath it for
no, they just
whatever
make it bigger. You
reason.
got to fit it hat. You can't do it with that one. It's not one.
No, this is a snapback or
Where
something.
you take those snaps off and put it on like the last one, and it'll go over your ears like you want it.
Why would I? I don't want to do that. Why would you want to do that?
It's a fad, like our parents, right?
It's
They was
not
like,
a
why the
fad.
heck? It's a
I was
fad. It's a
gonna put a
trend.
G on the end of that, but it probably pissed somebody off, so I'm not doing that.
You got to choose your alphabets wisely, my friend.
That's what I'm saying. Someone be
You got to
upset about
choose.
it. Oh, he's homophobic. Oh. No, I don't give a crap.
Yeah,
Um, I have to
but
mention this. I have a friend of mine, love her dearly, that she doesn't she had posted something she believes. I'm not quite sure what she believed. Um, and I probably shouldn't say no because she'd be mad at me, but I just wish she
mm,
would be more open-minded and stop listening to the rhetoric of women. If we don't elect a woman in the president, we're going backwards for women's rights. And that ain't going to be the case. I don't know. I understand why she would think that. That's what she posted, and then she posted on there, no Trump supporters allowed on to get on her post, right?
Right.
And I don't
Uh,
understand that why she would think that way politically, but that's for another day. Thinking that,
definitely.
but
Definitely
that's the
talk about
rhetoric.
it.
That's the spoon-fed Democrat or Republican rhetoric that's going around for, and people are buying into it. And I wish people would wake up. If I get off my horse and say, "Wake up," and let's just look what's going on in this country. I'm going to tell you right now, in my opinion, you start messing with my Constitution, there's going to be a problem. And I know I'm not the only one that thinks like that. You start taking away our constitutional rights, which is kind of playing in your segue in the back you got going on there.
Okay.
If you look in the behind you with 17
Yeah, I see it. Like
boys.
somebody sneaking up, climbing up the stair.
Yeah, I was
But
in 17. Yeah.
but all right, audience. Yeah, we've covered the UFOs, but yeah, you brought up some things, man.
Yeah, the government.
Constitution, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something about that, right? I try to look at both sides, right? What they're thinking. All right. I'm like, how could these Democrats, dudes, how can they think the way they think, right? And they think that they're supporting the Constitution, right? And then you got the Republicans. They believe that they're supporting the Constitution. Both sides they believe. That's why the fight is so heavy and hot, because they both believe we're exploring. All right, when the Constitution was written, right? Two, got it. Peace. I'm gonna make it quick. So, okay, you got the progressives, right? We want to progress more. We want to go further into what the Constitution, the liberties that it affords us, right? Yeah, right. The right is like, hey, okay, we've reached that pinnacle. You know what I'm saying? You're going too far when you want to turn men into women and women into men and all that kind of stuff. You're in some blasphemous territory now. We've given freedom, equality to all races. We've actually acting upon that. We're doing it now. I think it's the final frontier. But you got the other side, like, nah, we got a whole nother gender out there. We got a whole nother people that needs to be liberated. So, all right, I'm done. That was my go ahead, bro. Do you think?
That's a tough one there, my friend. It's just they can do what they want. I don't care. You just don't
You got to
expect
care.
me to really
You
understand it.
you got to care, man. We
They don't
have to
want
care.
labels. So, but on that note, see, tune in next week to see what we talk about. Maybe something interesting, maybe
Yeah.
not. It all depends on your perspective.
Hopefully, we touch on something y'all like. If not,
Yeah.
put it in the comments what you
And
want us to talk about.
it's just like a box of chocolate. You just never know what you're gonna get, as Forrest Gump would say.
Like a
Please
box
like,
of
share,
chocolate.
subscribe. If you leave a comment, man, we'd like to hear from you. Give us some ideas what you thought about UFOs. What you got, Bug?
That's it, man. I just echo what you said, your sentiment. That's what I would like as well. Anything y'all want to hear us talk about, let's do it. If you want to be on the show, we can explore that possibility.
Peace out.
Peace out. Nice flat bill, bro.
Thanks, buddy.